They told us it was impossible. They called us crazy for even whispering about it. They said he was the face of the franchise, untouchable, the crown jewel of this offense. Well, look at the reality staring us in the face right now. The silence is deafening. The reports are piling up, and the writing is absolutely on the wall. A.J. Brown is headed to New England. It is a gut punch, a total disaster for anyone clinging to the hope that he would retire an Eagle. But if you look at the mechanics, the money, and the cold, hard logic of the front office, this was always the end game. We are looking at a seismic shift in the NFL landscape, and it's going to change everything about how we watch our team this coming season. Before we dive into exactly why this deal is going down and what it means for the future of this roster, do me a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button right now if you want the absolute fastest, most hard-hitting, and honest updates on the league on the entire planet. We keep it real here every single day. You want to know why this hurts? It is because we all saw the magic. We saw the highlight reels, the acrobatic catches, and the raw dominance that defined his time in this uniform. But here is the hard truth. The business side of the NFL does not care about your favorite jersey. And right now, the business side is screaming that this trade is happening. If you have been paying attention to the chatter coming out of the league, particularly following the Super Bowl and the scouting combine, you know that this has been the worst-kept secret in football. Here is the reality. Rumors exist for a reason. Where there is smoke, there is usually a wildfire burning right underneath. We have heard the whispers about his unhappiness, the behind-the-scenes tension that started brewing back in 2023. You have to wonder, when a star player who is arguably the best at his position goes quiet, what is really going on? The answer, as it turns out, is a requested trade that has been kept under wraps specifically to protect his value and the team's leverage. If he had gone public, if he had blown this up in the media, the Eagles would have lost all their bargaining power. By keeping it quiet, everyone keeps their reputation intact, and the deal gets done. Let's be honest. Who is actually to blame for this inevitable divorce? Is it the player who wants the spotlight? Or is it the system that makes it impossible to keep every star happy when everyone wants to be the WR1? Drop a name in the comments below and let me know who you think is really at fault here. Now, you have to understand the math because this is where the genius or the madness of the front office really comes into play. If they had moved him before June 1st, the dead money hit would have been catastrophic. We're talking about $43 million.
It's caught at the 30 by
that would have crippled the roster.
It really dictates the defense
depth and essentially ruined our chances of competing for a title in the next 2 years. But after June 1st, that is when the magic happens. The cap hit gets spread out, the pain is mitigated, and the team gets the flexibility to retool. It is a calculated, brutal, professional decision. And then there is the destination. New England, a team that has been practically begging for a playmaker of his caliber for years. It is almost poetic, isn't it? The team he grew up rooting for, the team that has been circling him like a shark. Some people are talking about tampering, about the optics of league figures getting a little too cozy with each other. And yeah, it feels suspicious. But in the NFL, the teams that want the star get the star. And the Patriots are clearly pulling out all the stops to land him. The report is clear. The two sides have discussed the deal. They are waiting for that June 1st deadline like it is a ticking time bomb. The framework is there. The desire is there. The only thing missing is the calendar turning the page. And don't think for a second that the draft this week is going to stop it. The draft is just a prelude. The main event happens once the salary cap charges can be split between this year and next. Wait until you hear what the experts are saying about the potential draft capital we are getting back. You think a first-round pick is the ceiling. Think again. We're talking about a massive infusion of youth. And honestly, it is exactly what this team needs. I know. The pain of losing a guy like that is real. But look at the bigger picture. When you trade a superstar, you don't just get one piece back. You get the assets to rebuild an entire identity. We're talking about future-proofing the roster. The front office isn't looking at 2026 alone. They're looking at 2027 and 2028. They're thinking about sustained dominance, not just a one-year flash in the pan. Think back to the conversations the team had with the Rams. They were aiming high. They were looking for the future, not just a quick fix. That is the mentality that wins championships. And don't be surprised if this trade turns into a domino effect. When you look at how the roster is constructed, with the recent signings of guys like Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore, it starts to make sense. The pieces are already being moved into place. They have been preparing for life without him for months. Think about the receiver room. Devon Smith is ready. He has been ready. We have seen flashes of WR1 talent from him that have been criminally underutilized because he was sharing the stage. Now the stage is his. He has the route running. He has the hands, and he has the toughness. Plus, you add guys like Dantavian Wickses, who brings that chain-moving, gritty style of play, and suddenly you have a room that is deeper, hungrier, and perhaps more versatile than it was before. It is not about replacing one guy. It is about building a system that doesn't rely on a single hero. And that is the key, isn't it? The most successful teams in history aren't the ones with the most expensive singular weapons. They're the ones with the best schemes and the best balance. We have seen it time and again. You can have the best receiver in the league, but if your offensive line is weak, if your run game is stagnant, or if your quarterback is hesitant, you aren't winning a ring. The focus has to shift back to the fundamentals, the trenches, the ground game, and the quarterback's confidence. If the offensive line holds up, if we get back to the punishing run game we saw in 2024, and if our signal caller trusts the scheme, this offense is going to be just as dangerous, if not more so. We don't need two guys who both demand 15 targets a game. We need 11 guys who know their job, execute their assignment, and play for the name on the front of the jersey, not the back. It is honestly disappointing that it had to come to this. A.J. Brown brought us some of the most electric moments we have seen in years. 4 straight seasons with over 1,000 yards, back-to-back Super Bowl runs, constant winning. You cannot take that away from him. He was a pillar of the offense. But if the rumors are true, if he really felt that winning wasn't enough, that he needed more targets, more fame, more individual stats, then maybe it is better that he moves on. This is a team-first league. The moment you start putting me before we, the chemistry begins to rot. And in a locker room as focused as ours, you cannot afford that. So, let's talk about the return. If the Patriots want him, they're going to pay a premium. You look at the market, Dexter Lawrence, Trent McDuffie, Tyreek Hill. These guys fetch a king's ransom. A first-round pick is the starting point. But I'm looking for a first and a second, or a first and a third. That is the kind of haul that changes a franchise. It gives you the ability to move up, move down, or fill multiple holes on defense in a single weekend. And if there is one guy in this league who knows how to weaponize draft picks, it is our general manager. There's another layer to this, too. Keep an eye on the defensive side of the ball. The rumors about potentially bringing in a pass rusher like Jonathan Greenard from the Vikings. It keeps surfacing for a reason. Imagine offloading a receiver who wants out and using that capital to shore up a defense that needs more bite. That is the kind of aggressive, masterclass maneuvering that keeps a team in the win-now window for years. It is about balancing the roster, not just chasing shiny objects. Some of you might be worried that we are selling low, that we are desperate. But look at the track record. The leadership in the front office is playing 4D chess, while everyone else is playing checkers. They have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. They don't panic. They don't make emotional decisions based on what the fans are screaming about on social media. They move based on value, necessity, and long-term viability. Even if the Patriots are currently seen as the favorite, don't rule out another team jumping into the fray. This is the NFL. Everything changes in the blink of an eye. A desperate team might swoop in, overpay, and give us a package we can't refuse. But regardless of the destination, the outcome is the same. The departure is coming. And let's be real about the Patriots. They had a fluky year. They made the big game, sure, but look at the path. It was a soft schedule, a bit of luck, and a whole lot of questions that are still unanswered. Their quarterback situation is still a massive question mark. So, if we trade him there, we aren't just getting picks. We're potentially getting high-value picks if they struggle to find their footing. That is smart business. You trade your assets to a team that might be on the decline, and suddenly your mid-round pick becomes a top 10 selection. It is going to be a wild week. Draft weekend is always madness, but this year, it feels different. It feels like the start of a new chapter. We are saying goodbye to an era, but we are also setting the stage for something new. I know it's painful. I know it's frustrating to see a star player leave. I feel it too. I want to win that next trophy, and it feels like we are losing a piece of the puzzle. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust that the men in charge have a vision that goes beyond one player. Think about the young talent we have already in the building. Think about the potential for a complete defensive revamp. Think about the flexibility we are going to have with our cap space. We are clearing the decks for a massive run. And if that means losing one guy to gain 3 or 4 impact players, that is a trade you make every single time. So, hold on to your hats. We are in for a ride. By the time the draft dust settles, I think we're going to be looking at a very different but very capable team. A team that is built on depth, resilience, and smart, aggressive management. We are not just a one-man show. We are an organization. And organizations, the good ones, they endure. They adapt. They evolve. We have the best owner in the game. We have the best front office in the game. We have the talent. We have the culture. And most importantly, we have the drive. Whether A.J. Brown is wearing our colors or someone else's, the goal remains exactly the same. That Lombardi trophy. So what do you think? Are we looking at a disaster waiting to happen? Or is this the bold move that sets us up for the next 5 years of dominance? Are you ready to see what Howie Roseman has up his sleeve? Or are you still holding on to the hope that this is just a rumor that will blow over? The reality is coming, and it is coming fast. Keep your eyes peeled, keep your notifications on, and stay ready. Because when this deal goes through, when the ink dries and the announcement is made, you're going to be here, breaking it down, analyzing the fallout, and looking forward to what comes next. This isn't the end of the road. It's just a detour. And if you know this game, you know that the detours are often where the best stories begin. Stay tuned, stay loud, and as always, let's see how this plays out. It's going to be one hell of a ride. We're going to be covering every single angle of this trade, every pick we gain, and every player we target. You do not want to miss the coverage we have planned for the draft. It is going to be intense, it is going to be unfiltered, and it is going to be the only place you need to be. So make sure you're locked in, hit that subscribe button one last time if you haven't, and let's get ready for the most explosive, unpredictable weekend of the year. The draft is almost here. The trade is looming. And the future is whatever we decide to make of it. Let's go.